Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to more JDT. Today on the second channel, well, football season is just right around the corner, and it's a season that I just love to get ready for. And what better way to get ready for it than make myself look like a total idiot and know nothing about the sport in general? That's right, I'm here to predict. What the fuck did I just say? That's right, I'm here to predict the 2023-2024 NFL season, and it starts right now. If you take a look at the screen, we have Super Bowl champs. There's going to be one team in that category. That's who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. We have conference contenders. There'll be 3 teams in that category, 2 from the AFC, 2 from the NFC. That basically means like the 4 teams I think are going to make it to the Final Four until I put the team that I think is going to win in Super Bowl. Playoff teams will be the 14 teams I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to order them by how good I think they're going to do. So, for example, if I think the Bills have a better record than the Bengals, I'll put the Bills closer to the slot than the Cincinnati Bengals. And then after that, we have decent but just missed. I mean, they're going to have a decent year. You know, it's going to be okay. It's going to be up and down, but they're just going to miss the playoffs, and they won't be in. And unfortunate season just means the teams that, well, aren't going to stand a chance in this year's season. So, I'm sure it all makes sense as we go through, but basically whatever team I think is going to do the best, I'm going to move them closer the bracket. So basically, if you're top of unfortunate season, that means I think you can just move up the decent, but I think you're like the best unfortunate team. With the first team, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Here also I put the Dallas Cowboys at the end because that is the team I support.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good.
You can flame me all you want. I know, whatever. Everybody hates on the Cowboys. Don't care. But I will leave that team till the end. So, only 14 teams can make my playoff team list because only 14 teams make it into the playoffs in real life. But, yeah. After that, we'll move in. So, we're gonna fill up 14 teams in the playoff list. And after that, I'll take the Final Four to conference. And after that, I'll put the one team I think is going to win the Super Bowl in Super Bowl. The Arizona Cardinals, I'm going to put them, as of right now, they are going to be at unfortunate season. I don't know what happened with this team. They had so much potential when they had the DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt. Now they're losing everybody, and the team looks like dog shit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it just looks so bad. Next up with the Atlanta Falcons. I don't want to take too much time out of this. I don't want to make this a long video, so I'm gonna try to pace it up a little bit. But after the Cardinals, I have the Atlanta Falcons. I got them also an unfortunate season, but above the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're gonna finish with a better record than the Cardinals. The Falcons have a lot of decent players. They have Bijan Robinson, who can actually win Offensive Player of the Year this year. Kyle Pitts, who I think is actually going to make another step and a better step into the NFL. Drake London, who I think is going to come back and have a nice season. But I just don't think Desmond Ridder can take him to the promised land. I feel like Taylor Heineke is going to step in at some point in the season, and I feel like that's still not good enough. In defense, still has a lot of missing holes. Even though they did grab the corner for Detroit, I forget his name, Okuda. But I think he even got injured. So next team, I got the Baltimore Ravens, and I got them in decent, but just missed out in the playoffs. I know, shocking. A lot of people have Baltimore in the playoff market. OBJ, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends. Zay Flowers is going to ball out, but just as good as that offense is, the defense ain't really there. I think they just signed Jadeveon Clowney, so that's good for them. I just think they're just going to miss out on the playoffs. I think they're going to have a good season, and they're going to have a high record. I just feel like there's so many good teams in the AFC that they're just going to barely miss out. Up next, the Buffalo Bills. And that will be the first team that's going to take a playoff spot for me. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be a team that gets in the playoffs this year. I think they're going to have a lot of up and downs. I feel like they're not going to be as good. And you know what? The Madden curse. Josh Allen's on the Madden cover. Is the curse real? Is it not? I guess we'll find out. But I got the Buffalo Bills still making the playoffs and making a run for the Super Bowl. Carolina Panthers up next. They have all this talent. Bryce Young. They got Adam Thielen, Miles Sanders now. The defense is all right, but I'm going to put them in decent, but just miss. I think they're actually going to have a decent season. I think they're actually going to shock a lot of people, a lot of teams, and they're going to do pretty well, but they're not going to make the playoffs. I feel like this division is going to be the worst division in the NFL. I think the Panthers, Falcons, Bucks, Saints, that division is going to be terrible, and I think only one team's going to make it to the playoffs, but that team that makes it to the playoffs is going to have the worst record in the playoffs. That's my opinion, but we'll get into that a little bit. Chicago Bears up next. I'm going to put them in decent, but just miss. I think they have a better record than the Panthers, worse record than the Ravens. Look, Justin Fields is him. I won't lie, he is him. But the cast around him isn't the greatest, and I feel like it could be a lot better. Up next, Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow injured. Don't know how long he's going to be out for, and that sucks just in general. I'm going to put them in playoffs, but they're going to have a worse record than the Bills. Now, I think the Bengals are going to actually surprise and take a game with an injured Joe Burrow, which is going to surprise a lot of people. But if Burrow was healthy, I'd put them at top of this ranking. But since he's not, I got to put them behind Buffalo. I think Buffalo's still a good team. If Josh Allen's healthy, they'll win a few more games than the Bengals. I think just for those few games that Joe Burrow's going to be out for is going to just, kind of determine how this is going to go. Up next, the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Massage Lover Watson. I'm going to put them in decent, but just miss. And I think they have a worse record than the Bears and the Ravens. I think they have a better record than the Panthers. They have Amari Cooper. They have a really great defense with Myles Garrett. And yes, Deshaun Watson is regressing really badly. He's not doing well. Up next, the Denver Broncos. I'm going to put them in top of unfortunate season. People are going to expect a lot more with Sean Payton. But I've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of things going around saying that just expect Russell Wilson to play worse than he already did last year, which is shocking to me. But I feel like there's so much hype with Sean Payton coming back. I don't think he can fix that team in 1 year, even though he's doing all right at it. I don't think they deserve to be put in decent, but just miss. I think overall it's going to be another unfortunate season for the Denver Broncos. Up next, the Detroit Lions. A surprising pick here, but I got Detroit in the playoffs. Now, not as better record of the Bengals or the Bills, but that's my first NFC team that I got in the playoffs down the ranking here. I got Detroit in the playoffs. Yeah, I know, crazy, but I think they have the offense, the defense, the heart, the coaching to do it, and I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams this year, and I got them. That's my wild card pick in the playoffs, but I got Detroit in there. Up next, Green Bay. No more Aaron Rodgers. We got Jordan Love, and the defense is still strong. So is the running game with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. I'm going to give the Packers a decent but just miss. However, they're still going to be with a good record. I think they're going to be just behind the Baltimore Ravens with this record, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but I think it's going to be a good stepping stone for Jordan Love. I think it's going to be a hell of a season for this team. I just think they're going to lose a few games out of the playoff contention race. The Houston Texans up next. People are asking, where am I going to have Houston in this one? Do I got them in the playoffs? I got another wild card team with Houston with C.J. Stroud, and they got Will Anderson. They got Dalton Schultz on the team. I think they also got Devin Singletary. This team has made moves. However, I'm going to put them in an unfortunate season. I'm going to put them behind the Falcons. Yeah, I'm going to put them right here, I think. Look, Houston is still Houston at the end of the day. They can't change the team in 1 year. It's going to be hard for them to bring back up. I think they're going to have for the Houston Texans, they're going to have a good year. For as a bracket and a tier list, I got to put them in an unfortunate season. Up next, the Indianapolis Colts. Where do I got them? I got them at the top of unfortunate season. The whole thing with Jonathan Taylor and everything, and I think Anthony Richardson is going to have a great year, by the way. But the whole thing with Jonathan Taylor, I just don't trust the Colts organization to. It's just so messy in that organization right now that I just don't see it really going to plan for Indianapolis. And I just think they're just going to fall flat on their faces this year. Up next, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got them in the playoffs with a better record than the Lions, but a worse record than the Bengals and the Bills. Jacksonville's defense is hungry. It's young. It's amazing. Trevor Lawrence is him. Nathan Rourke, former BC Lion. Love to see it. He's even doing good in the preseason. And with Travis Etienne and Calvin Ridley looking phenomenal. If you got a chance to pick him up in your fantasy, I suggest you do so. I think he's going to rack up a lot of points. And Christian Kirk as well. Evan Ingram's going to have a good year, I believe. The O-line's all right. I like Jacksonville's chance to just take over this division. They surprised a lot of people last year by coming back and taking that division over. I think now they solidify it and they take it over again. Up next, the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year, I said they were going to miss the playoffs because they lost Tyreek Hill. They ended up winning the whole Super Bowl. So I'm never doing that again. I got the Chiefs barely missing playoffs.
See, West said we were rebuilding. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what rebuilding means. In our rebuilding year, we're world champs.
I'm going to give Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the Chiefs the top of the playoff team. I think they're going to have the best record out of these teams in the playoffs so far. And, yeah, I'm never going to doubt Patrick Mahomes ever again. LA Chargers coming up next. I got them in the playoffs with a better record than the Lions, but worse than the Jags, Bengals, Bills, and Chiefs. But I think they're just going to edge in a playoff spot. So remember, 7 from the AFC, 7 from the NFC. So we got a lot of room here. Although, there is now 5 from AFC, so that only leaves 2 more spots for my AFC teams. Up next, we have the LA Rams. Yeah, unfortunate season for the LA Rams. I'm going to put them behind the Colts and the Broncos. Surprising. You'd think they'd be higher. I know they got Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Matthew Stafford. They're going to win some games. Don't worry, they will. But if you really look at the depth chart and the team, LA's actually got the worst depth chart and backups and anything than almost every team in the NFL. Miami Dolphins are up next, and yes, they're going to take a playoff spot. I think they're going to actually take a playoff spot. They're going to have a better record than the Chargers and the Lions, but not than the Jaguars. And I got Dolphins sitting up right there, nice and pretty, next to the Chargers and the Jags, right between right there. That's another playoff team from the AFC. Again, I think the Bills are going to win the division, but I think the Dolphins are going to be right there in contention and just edge in the playoffs. That leaves one more AFC team to be in this playoff spot, and there's a few AFC teams left down here. So, you know what? I'm going to save the suspense for AFC in a little bit. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings. I got the Vikings in the playoffs. Better record than the Lions, better record than the Chargers, better record than the Dolphins. Not a better record than the Jaguars. I think they're going to do really good, but I think they're just going to choke a couple games here and there that just put them below the Jaguars. But with Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas, I think they win their division this year. And Detroit's going to be right there, but I think Minnesota takes that division. Going to save AFC teams, just so I keep suspense right here. But up next, we have the New Orleans Saints. I got the Saints making the playoffs. Bottom list, and yeah. They're going to be the worst record, but they're going to win their division, which is why they're going to be in the playoffs. Up next, we got the, New York Football Giants. I got the Giants in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I still got them. They have a better record than the Saints. They're going to finish worse than the Lions, though. I don't know why, but I feel like the Giants are just not going to have a great year, but they're still going to do well. I think they're still going to get a playoff spot, but it's not going to be a tremendous record where people are like, the Giants could pull up some upsets. Up next, we have, let's go with the Niners, who everybody knows where I'm going to put them. Let's go San Francisco. Actually, the Eagles are right there. I totally forgot about them. But the Niners, I'm going to put them right behind the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're going to have a great year. Every year, Kyle Shanahan pulls some shit out of his pocket. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brock Purdy still doing well. The defense with Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Hufanga, these guys are menaces on the field, and with the coaching staff they have, it's unbelievable. Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, we move on to the Pittsburgh. No, I'm just kidding. No, I got the Eagles. Even though I'm a Cowboy fan, this is a non-biased tier list, by the way. I just want to say that right now. This is actually my genuine thoughts going into the season. So with the Eagles, I have them in a better record than the Bills, but behind the Chiefs and behind the Niners. I think the Eagles are going to have a really, really good year this year. And I think they're going to just surprise, well, not surprise everybody, because their team is one of the best put-together teams in general. So give the Eagles credit where the credit is due. I have two teams that I just absolutely despise with the Niners and the Eagles up here, but it is what it is. So this leaves one NFC and one AFC team that I have left to go in the playoffs. So we'll do the rest of what I think, and we'll put the last two teams that I think are going to make the playoffs in there. So New England, where do I think they're going to go? Decent, but just miss. Below the Ravens, below the Packers, below the Bears, in front of the Browns, in front of the Panthers. I think the Patriots, yes, Juju Smith-Schuster, Ezekiel Elliott, they just recently signed. Congratulations to my boy. And the defense is all right. But last year they played like shit, and they did make some changes and some good ones. I still don't see the Patriots even coming close to playoffs. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Top of decent, but just miss. That's right. I got the Steelers up here, baby. I mean, I am banking on a good year for Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, TJ Watt, Najee Harris. Mike Tomlinson's still a great coach. This team is going to do wonders this year if injuries don't kill them, and I think they're just going to be like a 9-7, something like that type of team that just will barely miss the playoffs, but we'll do decent. Seattle Seahawks. Let's go. Decent, but just miss. Worse than the Steelers. Worse than the Ravens. Better than the Packers. I think the Seahawks have a good shot this year to even make the playoffs, but I think they'll just miss it out. Geno Smith, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith-Njigba, their rookie receiver. The defense with Bobby Wagner coming back. Their corners and their safeties are doing tremendous work. I just think they're going to be a Pete Carroll against the amazing coach. I just think they're going to lose a few games out just to not get in there. Now, I just left the Jets here, so I feel like everybody knows that the Jets are going to go to the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Jets as a playoff team. The last AFC team I have going into the playoffs. Not better than the Chiefs, not better than the Niners, not better than the Eagles, not better than the Bills, and I think they're just going to be under the Bengals, but better than the Jaguars. I got the Jets right here splitting Cincinnati and Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner. You have the 2 rookie players of the year from last year. Just signed Delvin Cook. Breece Hall they have on the team. Their team is stacked. Quinnen Williams. This team is really good. And now with Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback, he's still got it. He's still got an arm, and he's going to have a good team now. And he's still got a lot of the players that he once played with in Green Bay to New York. So I got the Jets. Up next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I got the Bucs at decent but just miss, and I got them at the back half. I was gonna put them at unfortunate season, but I think this division is gonna be so close that it won't be an unfortunate season. It'll be just a decent but just miss the playoffs. Tennessee Titans up next. I got them in decent but just miss. Obviously, worse than the Steelers, worse than the Ravens, but better than the Seattle Seahawks. I got them like third right there. Again, another case of just this team is good, but I feel like Jacksonville's going to just kick their ass. And I feel like, again, the AFC is so stacked, man. With these teams, it's going to be hard to get into the damn playoffs with the AFC. So, moving on, we got the Las Vegas Raiders. I've been contemplating where I'm going to put this team. I'm going to put them at top of unfortunate season. The Raiders, look, Jimmy Garoppolo is not the answer, and anybody who says he is delusional. I forget who said it, but this is the one thing I've laughed about ever since I heard it. Some guy said trading Jimmy Garoppolo for Derek Carr is like trading Derek Carr for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's the exact same thing. And Josh McDaniels does not know how to coach that well, in my opinion. I don't think he's that great. Devontae Adams is an amazing player. Max Crosby, amazing. But they have the roster to actually do stuff. They just won't do it. Up next, the Washington Commanders, who are going to change their name again, I think, after finally getting rid of their general manager, Snyder. Congratulations, Washington, for that one. That's just, you know what? For that alone, Super Bowl champs. All right, just for that alone. But we'll be realistic here, and we'll put the Washington Commanders at unfortunate season behind the Colts, behind the Raiders. I think Washington's going to be really good. Again, the NFC East is pretty stacked now with the Eagles, Cowboys, and the Giants. And I think Washington's on their way up. They're just not there yet. Chase Young's going to come back. Terry McLaurin's always great. And Sam Howell, their starting quarterback, I think he's going to take a step in the right direction, but he's going to make a few mistakes here and there. And I think Washington's going to have an unfortunate season. And last but not least, the best team in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys. I know. I'm going to get so much hate for that. But you know what? Like I said, it's an unbiased, realistic tier list. There's no way that I don't think this ain't happening, all right? Dallas Cowboys, Super Bowl. This year's our year. Last year was our year. The year after this year is going to be our year. The year after that year is going to be our year. Every year is our year. All right, anyways. No, realistically, I'm pulling down the Cowboys. But where am I going to put them? Where am I going to put them? Not better than the Chiefs. Not better than the Niners. Listen. The reason why I want to put Dallas here, just hear me out, is because the NFC East is cursed, where a team cannot win the division 2 years in a row. I don't know when the last time that happened, but it was a long time, which is why I want to put Dallas in front of Philadelphia. There's some curse here that just, this will happen. However, like I said, it's an unbiased tier list, and realistically speaking, if I compare the two teams, I am scared of the Eagles this year, so I'm going to move them down. I think Chiefs have a better record than Dallas. I think San Francisco have a better record than Dallas. I think Philadelphia's got a better record than Dallas. I think it's close to put them above the Bills or below the Bills because I think we'll have a better record than Cincinnati just because I think the Bengals without Burrow again. If Burrow was healthy, I'd probably move Bengals up to where the Niners, Eagles are. Without Burrow, though, you know, it is what it is. I'm going to move Cowboys in front of the Bills. And I'll tell you why. It's because I feel like the competition for Dallas is not as hard as the competition is for Buffalo. Buffalo's got to go against the Jets and the Dolphins. Not to mention, even the Patriots can pull off a win against Buffalo, surprisingly. However, Dallas plays Washington twice. I think that should be 2 wins. The Giants are good, but I don't remember the last time they beat Prescott. That should maybe be 2 wins. And I think the Eagles and the Cowboys might split one this year. So that alone, I just got the Cowboys having a better record than the Bills, just because of the toughness of the schedule and the teams we're both facing. But I do have them below the Chiefs, the Niners, and the Eagles. So that's it. That is my 14 playoff teams. I got the Chiefs, Niners, Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, Bengals, Jets, Jaguars, Vikings, Dolphins, Chargers, Detroit Lions, Giants, New Orleans Saints. But now, the question, what 4 teams am I moving from the playoff bracket to the conference contenders? Well, for the AFC, one of the teams, I'm putting the Chiefs up there. The Chiefs are going to make the conference again. I don't know why, I don't know how, but they're just going to do it. And I think the Chiefs get up there. Next to the Kansas City Chiefs, actually, we'll put an NFC team next. The NFC team that I think is going to make conference contender next, is the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles get back there. I really do. I think the Eagles get back to conference contender. It hurts me to do that, but I think the Eagles have a good chance. Next up, again, and I had the Niners getting the first round bye, by the way. Just keep that in mind. The Chiefs get the first round bye and the Niners. Those are my top 2. I have the top NFC team, Niners, top AFC team, Chiefs. The next AFC team I have in the conference championship is the Cincinnati Bengals, baby. Yeah, I think when Joe Burrow comes back, he's going to light this shit up. This league is going to be in trouble with him and Jamar Chase. So I got the Chiefs and the Bengals in the conference finals. And then I got the Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys in the conference finals. Now, I don't know how the Niners are going to lose. Whether it's third time's a charm lucky for Dallas. Whether they're going to get spanked again by the Eagles. I do not know how it's going to happen. But for some reason, I feel like the Eagles and the Cowboys will face each other a total of 3 times this year. Twice in regular season, once for the playoffs, baby. Now, who's going to be the winner of that one time? The season's got to play out for me to even get to that point. However, team I think is going to win the Super Bowl out of these 4. It's hard to go back-to-back. It's hard to even get back there after you were already once there. And America's team, you already? No, I'm kidding. I think it's the year of Joe Burrow. I think Burrow and Chase get a ring, baby. Now, Burrow's going to be injured for most of the year, but I think they're just going to edge out a playoff run. And I think that they just do their thing in playoffs. And Joe Burrow's going to have a comeback player of the year. That's next year, right? Would that be next year or this year? No, that'd be next year technically, right? I don't know. Anyways, I think it's the year of Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they finally get it done. Whether they face the Cowboys or the Eagles in the playoffs, I feel like if they face us, we're going to fucking choke like we always do. If they face the Eagles, I just feel like the Eagles are going to get unlucky with a few plays, and that's where the difference is right here with Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati can keep healthy with Orlando Brown, Chidobe Awuzie, Joe Burrow when he comes back, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. That team is stacked, my God. Sam Hubbard. If they can keep healthy, they win the Super Bowl. Simple as that. I think it's finally the year. I think they're going to go into Kansas City. It's going to be Burrowhead once again. They're going to move on. And you know why I also have the Bengals winning? The Super Bowl is because Orlando Brown last year was on the Chiefs, won the Super Bowl. This year's on the Bengals. And I don't know why, but something tells me he's going to go back-to-back. It's going to be one of those players that go back-to-back with different teams. Orlando Brown against another Super Bowl. If you have any doubts on my tier list, please let me know in the comments down below. If you think it's shit, let me know. If you think it's great, let me know. If your team is not in the playoffs, let me know if you think they're going to make it. What do you think your team's going to... Leave your team, your favorite team in the comments down below. Leave the record. What do you think? And if you want, even my Twitter's in the description down below. Tweet at me your tier list. If you come across this video, make a tier list yourself and tweet it to me. What do you guys think? With the exact same format I have here, let me know. Anyways, guys, I thank you all for watching so much. Please like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Go to my main, subscribe over there. Bangers are coming over there as well. And Madden 24 on this channel coming very soon. It's football season, baby. I'll see you when I see you. I'm out.